Anime moments where the main character is left behind for being weak, but returns overpowered. Everyone hates betrayal or being relegated to the sidelines for some reason, and people have different ways of dealing with it. While some people just fold up and cry, others channel their anger into making themselves better so that they can make a mind-blowing comeback. In this video, we are going to be looking at some of the best animes where the main character gets betrayed by his friends or left behind because he wasn't strong enough, only for him to come back seriously overpowered. One of our main characters today even got rejected by his own family. Really tragic. But before we go on, make sure to subscribe to this channel, where we give you amazing anime content. Without wasting any more time, these are the anime moments where the main character is left behind for being weak, but returns overpowered. If you have any suggestions or opinions about our list, let us know in the comments section. Number 10, Dororo. Dororo tells the story of Hakimoro, a Ronin during the Sengoku period. The Ronin was born without any hands, legs, facial features, or even internal organs, as a result of the pact his father, Kagemitsu Daigo, made with 48 sealed demons that gave him the power to rule the land. The pact also gave the demons freedom to roam the countryside and wreak as much havoc as they want while Daigo was the ruler. To save him from being killed, the Ronin was set adrift by his mother on the river. The child was subsequently found by a medicine man who used healing magic and alchemy to craft new limbs for the child and raise him as his own. The healing magic made him invincible to any mortal weapon, and he also had a special blade that was grafted into his left arm. When he learns that he can regain his internal organs and facial features after he kills the demons that did that to him, he set out on a quest to seek them out and meet his father. Number 9, Vinland Saga. The anime follows the story of Thorfinn, son of Thor Snorrason, a legendary Viking commander who left the life of violence and battles behind to settle down in a peaceful village in Iceland with his wife Helga. One day, a Jomsviking named Floki arrived in the village to enlist the help of Thor's in a battle where, in reality, his main motive is to kill Thor's for deserting. Thorfinn had always wanted to see the outside world and snuck into his father's ship, despite explicit orders for him to stay home. His father's ship was attacked by a band of mercenaries led by Askeladd, but Thor's managed to fight them off. However, he surrenders when Thorfinn is taken hostage, allowing Askeladd to execute him. Thorfinn swore to avenge his father's death and began living life as a Viking, and soon grew into a man of unimaginable strength and skill. Number 8, Rakudai Kisi no Cavalry. This anime is set in an alternate reality where a group of humans called Blazers can create weapons of choice with their souls. Every year, the 7 Mage Knight Academies in Japan hold a tournament named the 7-Star Sword Art Festival, where they determine who the strongest apprentice knight is. The Hagen Academy has low rankings, and the director has to do something fast to save face. He then recruits an A-rank blazer called Stella Vermilion, the princess of the European country Vermilion. On her first day in the academy, she meets the main character, Iki Kuragain, an F-rank blazer who has been cast aside for his lack of skills. He had suffered rejection right from childhood from his own family, but still continued to work hard. Using a technique named Blade Steel, his noble art named Itoshura, and the help of Stella, he develops his skills and becomes one of the strongest characters in the anime. Number 7, Crossange. Our protagonist is a 16-year-old princess named Angelise Ikaruga Misarugi, who can't control mana. In a world where everyone else can control it, and those who don't are treated as outcasts. On the day of her coronation, her elder brother publicly exposed her shortcomings, which makes her into an object of hate and ridicule in the blink of an eye. She is stripped of her royal privileges by her brother and sent to Arsenal, where those who can't control mana are kept. She soon discovers that despite not being able to control mana, she is quite skilled in using paramail and also has good physical strength. A special ring given to her by her mother has the ability to unlock paramail and allows her to use it effectively. Now, as strong as ever, she embarks on a quest to right the twisted world she once lived and believed in, and also confront her scheming evil brother Julio. Number 6, Roka no Yusha. This anime tells the story of 6 heroes known as the Braves of the New World who were chosen by the goddess of fate to rise up against the demon and other creatures that are trying to turn the world into a living hell. However, when they were summoned, instead of 6 heroes, 7 appear. This raises the question of an imposter, and naturally, everyone turns to the seemingly weakest person in the group, who turns out to be our main character, Adlet Mayer. Now on the run, Adlet must now learn how to use his skills to survive alone, and fight for his life while he tries to find out who the imposter is before it's too late. Number 5, Ari Ferretta. From Commonplace to World's Strongest. Ari Ferretta tells the story of Hajime Nagamu, a high school student who was constantly bullied by his classmates because the class idol Kaori Shirasaki took a special interest in him. When he and the rest of his class were transported into another world, everyone gets powerful magical abilities, except Hajime, who gets a very low-level transmutation skill, a very common skill found in blacksmiths and craftsmen. During a dungeon raid, his classmates betray him and push him into an abyss to die. However, he survives and soon realizes that the place was filled with beasts and demons. He soon realizes that he can eat the beasts for food and to gain their abilities. Over time, he became seriously overpowered and returns ruthless and vicious like the beast he had been feeding on. Number 4, the irregular at Magic High School.
Hi.
The story is focused on the life of Tatsuya Shiba, brother and bodyguard to Miyuki Shiba. Next in line is the leader of the Yatsuba clan, one of the 10 ruling clans in Japan. They both enroll in first high school, where they are separated according to their powers and abilities. Miyuki is enrolled as a first-course student and was considered one of the best students, while Tatsuya was a second-course student because he was thought to be magically inept. He turned out to be a fighter so powerful that even people who enhanced their physical abilities were no match for his raw physical strength. He was a master-class fighter and didn't even need to use his magical abilities most times, even though he possessed incredible magical abilities. Number 3, Code Geass.
ブルーシュビブリタニアが命じる。貴様たちは死ね。
This anime follows the story of Lelouch v. Britannia, the prince of the Holy Britannia Empire, who was exiled after he confronted his father following a series of events, including the murder of his mother. He accused the emperor of failing his mother and sister, who was so traumatized by the incident that she lost her sight and her ability to walk. He was sent to Japan to give them a false sense of security while his father's troops invade and massacre them. This enrages Lelouch even further, who vows to avenge his friends in Japan. 7 years later, he meets a girl who gives him unimaginable power. The power is called Geass, and it allows him to bend anybody's will to suit his purpose. He makes a return to his former homeland to seek revenge and make the world a better place. Number 2, Kazi no Stigma.
悪霊じゃない。妖魔だ。
The plot is centered on Kazuma Kanagi, the eldest son and supposed heir of the Kanagi family, until it was discovered that he couldn't use Enjetsu, also known as the Blaze Technique, which is a technique that allows them to control fire. Even though he could control the wind, he was considered useless and eventually banished when his 12-year-old cousin beat him in a battle for the powerful heirloom sword. 4 years later, he returns a master of the wind technique and a very powerful fighter. Upon his arrival, another wind user sneaks in and murders several members of the Kannagi family, which makes Kazuma a prime suspect. He now has to find the killer and prove himself. Number 1. Shield Hero.
今の俺ならここでお前を殺し正面から逃げ切ることもできる
Naofumi Iwatani is summoned into a fantasy world together with 3 other young men to become the cardinal heroes of that realm and protect the world from demons. Each hero is given a legendary equipment, and while others got offensive weapons like the sword, bow, and spear, Naofumi gets the only defensive equipment, the shield. This meant he had no offensive capabilities and was cast aside for this reason. To make matters worse, he was framed by his companion, who robs him and accuses him of rape. A bitter outcast, Naofumi now has to train alone and prove himself to everyone. What makes this anime stand out is that it's not your usual sword fighting scenes. You get to see the unique fighting style of a shield user and why they say the best offense is a great defense. And that brings us to the end of our video today. If you have any comments or opinions, drop them in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you in the next video.